Hi, this video tutorial will introduce you to using blueprints in Unreal Engine 4. It's by no means a comprehensive guide on using them, but it will get you far enough that continuing to learn on your own will be very easy. This tutorial assumes you have some experience with Unreal Engine 4. If you don't, I recommend you check out the video tutorials available on the official Unreal YouTube channel. There's a link in the description. While you don't need to come from a programming background to follow this tutorial, it assumes you have some basic knowledge of programming concepts, such as functions, classes, and objects. If you've ever created a project from scratch in Unreal, you'd know that you get a choice to start with C++ or Blueprints. You can choose either and have no trouble adding C++ or Blueprint features down the road. However, this is a good point to elaborate on the distinction between Blueprints and C++. Both are methods of defining how objects in your game are going to behave, but there are a few key distinctions to be made. C++ is generally used for defining the foundation level classes for your game, while Blueprint is used for defining the more content-oriented behavior. For example, defining aspects common to all characters in your game would be best done in C++, while the behavior specialized for a specific character in the game would be best done in Blueprints. Another important difference is that while Blueprint classes can extend classes defined in C++, it does not work the other way around. So a C++ class cannot extend a Blueprint class. This video is going to focus specifically on the basics of using Blueprint, but it's valuable to understand that the uses of C++ and Blueprint within Unreal 4 are not mutually exclusive. So in the future you may find yourself switching between them even within the same project. For this tutorial, we're going to use the Blueprint first-person shooter template. You can name it whatever you want. I'm going to name it Blueprint Tutorial. I mentioned before how blueprints are mainly used for more content-oriented behavior, and as such you can find them in the content browser. Like any other content item in the engine, you can edit them by simply double-clicking on their icon. Let's open the blueprint for projectile. Blueprints are defined as a series of nodes connected by wires. Each node represents a function, with the wires going into the left representing the arguments to the function, and the wires coming out of the right representing the results of the function. Just like a function in any procedural programming language, order of execution matters. The white wire that travels between all nodes in your blueprint defines the order that the nodes are executed. This also means that any nodes that are not connected to the wire will not be evaluated. Many of these nodes map to actual C++ functions, which can be redefined in the source code of the engine. You can also create new nodes by writing new C++ functions, or just by using more blueprints. Let's take the case of the addImpulseAtLocation node. This represents a function that takes a target object, impulse, and location, and applies that impulse at the given location on the given target object. Because the output of that node is only apparent in the change to the target object, this node has no output wires. However, it still has the white execution wire coming out of it, which is used to define which node will be executed next. In this case, that's the destroyActor node. You'll notice that while the destroyActor node has a target argument, there are no wires running into it. This still works because the argument has a default value, self. Self refers to the object that is currently executing this blueprint. Let's try playing the game to see what this blueprint currently does. So every time we click, a sound effect and animation are played and a new projectile object spawns from the gun. That projectile object persists in the scene for either a set amount of time or until it collides with another object in the scene. One thing we could try adding is a sound effect for when the projectile collides with another object in the scene. This is actually very simple to add, so we'll do that now. We can see exactly how the projectile currently works in the blueprint. It responds to the hit event by applying an impulse at a location on the object it collided with at the location it collided with the object. Afterwards, it destroys itself. This is exactly where we want to add our behavior to play sound. You can press the space bar to bring up a context menu for finding blueprint nodes. Let's search for play sound at location. As you can probably guess, this maps to a function that plays the given sound at the given location. The spacebar context menu is going to be your primary means of creating blueprint nodes, so I recommend you get some practice with it. As we can see, the play sound at location node has two inputs, sound and location. Both of these have default values, but we don't want to use them. For the sound input, we can just click on it and select a new asset. Let's choose Explosion 01. For the location input, we can drag the location wire out from the Get Location node. You'll notice now that we're splitting the output of that node. One thing to remember is that you can have as many wires coming out from each output point of a node as you want, but you can only have one wire going into each input point. The final step is to hook up the execution wire. The execution wire is not an output of the node, so it can't be split like the others. Let's drag it out from the right side of the Destroy Actor node and into the left side of our Play Sound at Location node. Since we've made modifications to this blueprint, we need to compile and save it. This will validate the blueprint we've created and set it up for use in the world. Now let's try playing the game. As we can see, or hear, the projectile now plays sound when it collides with a game object. There's a lot more you can do with blueprints than just this, but now you've gotten over the hardest part. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. If you want to learn more about blueprints, you can check out Unreal's official YouTube channel, or you can also read the documentation on docs.unrealengine.com.